I've said it a ton of times at the channel, I don't normally do Jordan sneakers. I try to do them as little as possible. Having said that, I did do the K54 Jordan 5s recently, but they're a very special shoe, and the K line is very special to me. But with the Jordans, it's just, there's so many videos out there, there's so many people talking about them. It's very, very unlikely that I will be able to bring you guys something unusual or unique or different compared to what's already out there. But then again, every so often one comes along and I just have to talk about it. And this guy right here is important to me because, like I said in the title to this video, I hate to say I told you so, but, and people hate to hear people say I hate to say I told you so, but if you're a regular watcher of the channel, I have been talking recently how I feel like there's a sort of move towards orange coming back again. We saw it last year with a starfish kind of line. There was a low, a mid and a high, although I think only two of them were starfish, and I think it was maybe the high which wasn't starfish. I can't remember what the name of it was. 3 Jordan sneakers, I think from last year, that were in orange, but that starfish orange was a bit paler, a bit more sort of pastel than these guys. These guys are very much a shattered backboard, kind of really powerful pop-in orange. But it's because I said a few weeks or months ago about maybe seeing a sort of trend in the sneaker world that would bring us back towards sort of orange sneakers, and then here we are with one of the biggest sneakers of the season in that orange colorway. So I'm kind of like, you know, I've got to, at least when I get it right one time, I've got to be able to say, you know, hey, look, I sometimes get it right. So so that kind of like pushed me into this video and me making this one today about a Jordan 1 high. And there's a big sort of Jordan 1 thing with me at the channel, and I'm going to park it. I'm not going to get into it, but there is a link in the description down below that explains about my history with Jordan 1 sneakers, especially not Jordan 1 sneakers, Jordan sneakers, especially growing up in rural Scotland where Jordan 1 sneakers or Jordan sneakers of any kind didn't really feature. So more Air Max, more Adidas like Samba or Campus and stuff like that. So a different history, a different sort of background, and then now I'm out here in Tokyo, Japan, Jordan sneakers are much more on my radar. So so there's a lot about that, but we'll leave that. You can watch that video about me growing up in Scotland and explaining my history with Jordan sneakers. But today what we're going to do is get into this one and look at the detailing on it, and there are a couple of hits on it that I'm just absolutely in love with. I'm really, really digging this shoe, and there are some unique elements to the way they've constructed the color, especially the colorway on the shoe and the positioning of the color. And I'm mainly going to focus on the toe and the heel for that, because that's where the interesting details come in this guy. So so that's pretty much what we're going to get into looking at that. But the first thing I want to do is go onto the insole here, because as far as I can tell, this is a pretty unique insole in two ways. It's not unusual for a Jordan 1 to have Nike Swoosh Air on their insoles, but these guys here, they seem to be slightly oversized compared to your standard branding that you get on a Jordan 1 sneaker. And although this picture is not a great picture, there is a kind of box around the edge of the branding as well on that insole. So those two kind of details there add a little bit of uniqueness to the insole, and it's the only place in the shoe that really has something completely different from a normal Jordan 1 line that I've seen. I don't know if you guys have seen this out there before in other Jordan 1 sneakers or Jordan 1 highs, but that's something unique to me that I think is kind of interesting on this shoe, and it's kind of the main sort of place that's unique that I wanted to get into before going into the rest of the shoe, which we'll do right now by going down to the toe. Black toe on a Jordan 1 sneaker, absolutely every day of the week. One of the classic sort of design points on any sneaker. The structure of an Air Jordan 1 is always, you know, it's classic. It's the first, like, almost like the first commercially available sneakers, basketball sneakers. A bit like the Model T in car terms. The Ford Model T was the first sort of commercially available car. There were cars before that, but they're kind of unique and only specific people could afford them. But then you got this cheaper version that everybody could kind of get their hands on. And then the Jordan 1's a bit like that. Before the Jordan 1's, sneakers had their own lane, running, basketball, baseball, and they stayed in their lane. But the Jordan 1 spread that and broke down all those barriers and spread it wide. So a huge shoe in the history of sneakers, and that black toe is a massive detail on in that history of sneakers going all the way back to 1985. So seeing that on these guys with the black toe and the white panel in there is a very big yes. Now what you'd normally see to contrast that is some white mid-foot paneling and then some colouring at the back end of the shoe in the heel, either black or orange in the case of the shoe. But if we travel all the way back to that back end of the shoe, you can see it's not in black or orange. I'm pretty sure it's in white. but only pretty sure. Because the longer I looked at it, the more I was seeing something going on. There's something in there. Maybe my eyes are playing a trick on me. Maybe I'm seeing it right, but it just feels like there's something more to the back end of the shoe when it comes to the white, which isn't so obvious on the toe box and the midfoot. But when you get to that heel section, it just feels like it's almost got a chalky feel about it. And to be honest, what it reminded me of was the clot Jordan 1 mids. I don't know if you remember them from a few years ago, that they were white and you could take that white overlay off of the upper and reveal gold panels below. So it's one of those removable uppers, not unusual from the clot line. But the white on there was a kind of chalky white on those Jordan 1 mids. And here we are with these, the electrics, it's not electrics, it's not electric orange, like Electro Orange. But the white feels like it's more than just white, a bit chalky. I thought grey at first, but then the more I looked at it, the more I've got a chalky white feel about it. So that usually that heel cup on the back of these guys that supports the heel area there would be black or orange to go with the rest of the colorway, and not white to match the midfoot panel. So seeing white on white there is a big deal. And then also on top of that, that feeling of chalk or something more than just straight up white is another important detail on that. And together with that orange and black, I just feel like these are a really clean shoe. And I did read somewhere that this kind of color blocking is this is the first shoe that's going to lead into a lot of color blocking like this for other Jordan 1s in the future. So this could be a shoe one in a line of different shoes at the Jordan line. So that's the kind of main details and the main things that really got me into the shoe. The insole branding, the black toe, and then that chalky white feel at the back half of the shoe. But there's more in terms of the shoe that's well worth knowing about, so you can know that if this is the shoe that you want to go after. I'm definitely going to be having a look at them. They're already on the sneakers app here, and they come in my size, which is quite rare in Japan, so I'm very much eager to get my hands on a pair of these guys. But some of those details that are worth focusing in on, one is up on the wings logo up there around the ankle, and you can see, I think if I remember rightly, it's a grey ankle strap with a black wings logo on there, and then behind that you've got the extra hits of orange. And it's kind of surprising how much orange is discreet in this shoe. It's not very much in your face at all at the top of the ankle there, and then the other place to look for it is on the outsole. Now you look at the outsole and it's orange front to back, the whole thing, but when you look at the shoe from the side, because you just see that thin strip of the outsole, again that orange doesn't feel as in your face as you'd normally sort of get a sense for in terms of how much orange is at play in these shoes. So just really up on the ankle, behind the ankle flaps, and then on the outsole, the whole entire outsole front to back on these guys, that's where the orange comes into play. And then the last real thing to look into, I think, is the tongue branding, and looking at that up there, that they've gone with a very black on black sort of feel for the tongue on these guys, and that helps the branding to pop. And if I remember rightly, again, the Nike branding is in white, and then the swoosh is in, it looks like orange, it might be red, but I'm pretty sure it's orange, which would really go with the story of this shoe. So back at looking at the whole thing, I think it's an absolutely beautiful shoe. I'm very, very much a yes on this particular shoe. I don't know about other shoes that will come down the line that will have the white midfoot panel and the white heel cup on there. It might be too much white on other shoes, but this particular one, especially with that orange vibe, is a very big yes for me. I'm actually really digging these guys. I think it could be a really big shoe for this season coming up, and it's only about a week away, maybe 10 days away before these guys are hitting the sneakers app here in Tokyo, Japan. I assume the same for the rest of the world. Now, before we wrap this video up, I'm going to just jump to something that's got nothing to do with sneakers, but regular viewers of the channel will know that the shirt I'm wearing I bought recently at an outlet mall, and I told you that I bought two of them, this one in grey and this one here in black. And I was meant to wear this black one in a video the other day to test whether or not it would mess up the green screen, but I realised that nobody wants to watch 10-12 minutes of really crappy green screen, so I ended up not doing it. But then I thought, right, I'll dig out the shirt and have it ready to go, and then I'll put it on at the end of the video, and then the last 30 seconds or so, instead of the whole video, there you go. There's my black version of this Nike swoosh with Tokyo across the front. And we have no idea what this is doing to the green screen. Often it doesn't work. Grey is pretty much the best colour for my t-shirts to work on the green screen. Anything other than that, and then it gets a bit funky. So I'm guessing this isn't working, but we'll find out when we play it back. So it's a good little test to see what black does on the green screen. And with that being said, it's time to just wrap this one up, and thank you guys for checking out the content. So we're still churning away. I think we might be close to 945 days of consecutive content, churning it out every single day. And because I churn it out every single day, I get to say the same thing at the end of every single video, which is that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.